There's a popular adage you probably know. It says there are two certainties in life, death and taxes. In an ongoing pandemic, death might be a possibility if you aren't careful, but taxes, those remain a certainty. This is where the Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ and its e-services platform comes in.
TAJ is actually the entity that has responsibility as the government's main agency for collecting what we call domestic taxes. And domestic as opposed to what you'd pay at customs. That's simply what it is. But in addition to the main taxes that you would be familiar with, your income tax, GCT, those sorts of taxes, property taxes as you mentioned, there are also a number of other services that we offer. So you're talking about driver's license renewal, you speak about registering your motor vehicle. So those motor vehicle services, related services, we also facilitate, and we partner with a number of agencies in terms of what it is that we do collect. So from a business perspective, there's a one-stop shop that's accessible through TAJ, online and inline, but we prefer you to do online, where we facilitate business persons doing all their business-related taxes, their statutory deductions can be done through TAJ.
The TAJ says there's been an increase in the use of its e-services platform, particularly for business operators. So why should you go online?
So we would want to see more persons using the online to pay their property taxes. If we have more persons using the services that are available online, what that will mean is that we would have less volume of persons coming into our offices, and for the persons who have to come in for those services that are not yet online, and we're working on some of those. So for those services that are not yet online, if more persons use the opportunity for those services available online, then they would not be in the space inline. So what we're saying to persons, use the online instead of coming inline. You spoke about the waiting, and that's a vexed question or a vexed issue. You go online, there's no need for you to wait. There's a suite of services that we have available online for the average person. I'm not talking about a business person now. I'm talking about an average person, a person who is employed, a person who even has their own business. Time is money. Plus, you don't want to have to, you want to minimize the amount of time that you're out, going out and about. So what we would say to persons, use the online services to make payments for things like renewing your driver's license, paying your certificate of fitness fee, paying your traffic ticket if you happen to get a traffic ticket. These are things that you can do online. Property tax. As a matter of fact, property tax right now is the #1 tax type in terms of volume of transactions in our offices.
The e-services platform is also popular among business persons.
They love it because it's simple, it's cost effective. There's no need for them to come in to do their business-related transactions. And as a matter of fact, they can actually log on to their TAJ account and their e-services account, and they can actually see all of what is happening. So they can see every payment that had been made, history of every payment. They can see every letter that we send them. It's there. So everything is on the, so if there is a letter, a notice, it can be pushed to their web account and they can see whatever is there. They can make web requests for things also. So for example, for TCC, if they need a TCC, there's no need for them to come into the office to get that TCC. They apply online through the web service, and the TCC, once it's approved, will be pushed back to them on their e-services account, and they'll be able to have that available to them. So there's no need for them to come into office. For business persons, all their tax returns are filed online. So they have responsibilities or obligations to file monthly returns for their payrolls. They have their annual returns, which they also have to file, their GCT returns, which are monthly, and all of these returns are in fact filed online. in terms of payments for the business persons and those business-related taxes, those two can be paid online. And about 50% of our business persons are in fact making their payments online. Because whereas we can mandate how somebody files, we can't mandate how somebody pays. Since 2015, when we introduced our Revenue Administration Information System, we raised the bar for business persons, where they're able to now have everything on their e-services account. They can send us web messages, we can respond to them, they can send us web requests for things like TCC and so on. If they're needed to have something zero rated, they do that through the platform also. So there are a number of things that they can do through the platform, so there's no need for them to come into office. So all those returns, they're monthly returns for payroll. Persons who are registered as a GCT taxpayer, they file their GCT returns online also. At the end of the year, when they have the annual return to be filed, they can file it online. And not just the filing, they can also pay online. So there's really no need for a business person to come into our offices. And they have been taking advantage of it and using it.
There's also a new initiative making online filing mandatory for some individuals as at October 1, 2020.
GART, it's an acronym. It's G-A-R-T. It's an acronym for Guest Accommodation Room Tax. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because GART is one of those, we have been over the years in phases introducing on a mandatory requirement for the filing of tax returns. The GART, or the Guest Accommodation Room Tax, is a tax return that persons who operate guest accommodations are required to file monthly. So your hotels, your villas, anybody who rents a room, basically, is required on a monthly basis to file a return of any room that had been rented during the period, and there is a tax based on that. So that's a return that they would file. That return is now, as of the 1st of October, will be mandated to be filed online. It's not a significant number of persons, but why is it important? It's better when persons file online. It's easier for them, and it's better data for us in terms of administering. And it's not a big push because 72% of them are already filing online. So it's a very small number. We have already reached out to them. Our customer care center and our taxpayer education teams have already reached out to them to show them and to demonstrate to them how do they go about doing this. As at October 1, they'll be mandated to file that monthly return online. So come the end of October, so the return is filed at the end of a month for the previous month. So come the end of October, they'll be filing a return for September. It's similar to the GCT, which is already filed online. So it's something that they're familiar with. What we're just saying to them is to consistently file it online.
As a result of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, the TAJ has fast-tracked plans to improve its website.
So we have expanded our online accessibility since COVID. Since COVID, we have actually rolled out two new services that now makes it easier for persons to access the payment side of our service. So I could share with you that, for example, our renewal of driver's license, which you normally would have had to come in, make your payment, take your picture, and wait to get your driver's license renewed. What we have done since the advent of COVID is that we have now made it possible for persons to make the payment for the renewal of their driver's license online. So you can make your payment online, generate your receipt online, and you can use that receipt, take that receipt, you package that along with the form, and the form is available online. So all our forms, as a matter of fact, are available online. So you can download that form, complete it, use a copy of that receipt to confirm that you have made your payment, and you put that along with a picture, a passport-size picture. You just package that, put that in an envelope, and drop it off at the tax office because we need the physical documentation. But you need not wait in the line when you come to do that drop-off. So we have drop boxes at all our locations, specifically for the renewal of driver's license. So you just, no need to wait in that line. You drop off that envelope with those documents I spoke of, and once it is ready in about a week or so, you come and you pick it back up. When we just started, what we were doing is contacting persons by phone to advise them that it was ready, but based on the volume, it's no longer feasible to do that. So what we say to persons is that within a week, it will be ready. And it's really 2 to 3 days, but just to be on the safe side, we say to persons, come back within a week to collect your driver's license. Again, no need to wait in line. You just advise that you're picking up your driver's license. They'll allow you in. You do the sign-in, and we remind you, walk with that old driver's license because it will need to be punched. Actively working to enhance or to reconfigure our e-service platform. So our enterprise portal, we're actually there's a project underway now where we are migrating the site to a newer version of the system that we use. With that will come additional features. So the look, the feel, how to navigate will become different. And we're taking feedback from customers in terms of how we're making some of these changes. Persons would expect changes, and as I say, we're taking account of some of the feedback that we would have gotten from persons in making the changes to the site, which we expect by end of year, we will have a new look website and more functionalities will be made available. You need a credit card to make the payment online. However, there are a number of bank products that operate like a credit card. These too can be used online. So there are some Visa debit cards that have credit card features, and there are some other financial institutions that have cards that have credit card features that can also be used online. In addition to using a credit card or a card that has a credit card feature, just recently, as recent as September, end of August, we collaborated with NCB, wherein now you can log on to your NCB online, set up TAJ as a payee, and make your payments. In this first phase, however, let me just say that this is only for personal customers of NCB. Only personal customers of NCB at this time. Things like property tax, it's not all the taxes that would be available, but certainly property tax, which again is the largest transaction that we have in terms of volume. Property tax is available, and the business-related taxes. Again, these are for personal customers of NCB. We are, however, working right now with them to build it out to facilitate their corporate clients also. So pretty soon, we'll be announcing that the corporate clients of NCB will also be able to take advantage of using the NCB online platform to make payments directly into TAJ. There are a number of things that persons can access electronically, and we're encouraging persons to take advantage and to use the services that are available online. And generally speaking, there is a number of them that are there that you can take advantage of using. Once you do that online, you're able to get your certificate of payment would be sent to you. Your statement of payment, is automatically emailed to you. And for those services that you actually need the official receipt, such as your renewal of motor vehicle, renewal of driver's license, you can generate your receipt. For business persons, you make your payments, you can actually also generate your own receipt. In terms of another option for payment that business persons have, is that for persons with a BNS account. So persons with a BNS account, whereas they can't add TAJ as a payee, what they can do on the TAJ platform, they can actually do what we call an electronic deposit payment. It's like writing a check, but you're doing it electronically. So if you're a customer of BNS, within our system, right, when you go on to make your filing, you can actually opt to make your payment. You would select making your payment by electronic bank deposit, and you would complete the information, your bank account, set that up, and you go forth and make your payment. And you can generate your receipt.
Here's how you can create your TAJ e-services account. Step 1. Go to www.jamaicatax.gov.jm. Step 2. Select the Client Login mini banner ad or simply select Login in the upper right-hand corner. Step 3. Select Create an account. Step 4. Enter your first, middle, and last name in the fields provided. Create a username and provide an email address. Select your gender and complete text verification. Step 5. Read the TAJ's privacy, security, and accessibility policy and create a password reminder. That's it. You're now on the Tax Administration Jamaica's e-services page. On the left, you'll see a list of taxes you can pay online as well as other services. Feeling uncertain about completing transactions online? There's a how-to section on the menu at the top of the page. Jamaica recorded its first COVID-19 case in March. The TAJ, like all of us, has been impacted.
Well, we have had impact directly as well as in terms of our operations. So TAJ would have been impacted during the course of the 6 months where you would have had curfews that would have taken place, extended curfews as a result of COVID in certain areas. We would have been impacted in those areas by having to close the doors of those offices in those particular areas. We have also had, unfortunately, 2 situations where we had to shutter our doors of 2 of our locations because persons were exposed to COVID. Staff members were exposed to COVID, and at the time, based on the Ministry of Health's protocol, you had to close, deep clean, sanitize, and then reopen. So we would have been impacted from that. Operationally too, because of what is happening and because we are quite responsible in looking at the protocols that the ministry has spoken of, what we have done is to increase our sanitization. We have minimized the numbers of persons who can be in our office space at any one time, both staff and customers. Persons are no longer able to come into our offices without wearing a mask. We have them sanitized. We do the temperature checks on entry. This is both for staff and customers. So we follow the Ministry of Health's protocols and guidelines very, very religiously. We have since also stepped up our sanitization in our office space, even throughout the course of the day, especially those heavy use areas. So we actually have persons on staff who you'll see them wiping the counters every 30 minutes. You'll see them doing that. So we have to ensure that our staff and customers are protected. So as a result, we have limited numbers of persons who can come inside of the office at any one time. So you may have the question of why is it there so much crowd on the outside? That's something we have no choice about. So we have numbers inside, and then most persons would wait on the outside. What we have done in areas or offices that can facilitate, because some of the spaces can facilitate us putting up tents, we have put up tents where persons can wait out under the tent so they're not exposed to the elements. We also have protocols where priority is given for our senior citizens. Even while they wait on the outside, priority is given to persons. There are certain of our services too, depending on what it is that you're doing. You may not need to wait in the line. If you're just dropping off a document or a package or something like that, and you tell the security guard or the officer who's monitoring on the outside, then you'll be allowed to just do that drop off and leave.
In response, the administration implemented these measures.
So in terms of our workers too, because of the whole COVID environment, and we are aware of the risks that it is to Jamaica, especially with the numbers climbing, we have still continued, even though it's not in the order now, in terms of workplace and work from home protocols. What we have done is that for our staff who can work from home, so our customer care center, for example, our customer care center agents, they actually work from home. So when you call into our customer care center, which is at 1-888-TAX-HELP, the person is actually at home working. So they still do the time, but they're not at a location. So there are other service points that our officers who can work from home have access to work from home. They have the equipment that's made available to them. They have a comfortable area within their home. So these are checks that are done before we sign off on persons working from home. In addition to the work from home protocol that we actually have, what we have also sought to do is also to rotate staff. So at any given time, we will not have full staff complement in the offices, any of our offices. So for example, for persons who cannot work from home based on the nature of the job that they offer, they cannot work from home. What we do though is to rotate these persons. So within the tax offices, for example, our cashiers, our compliance staff, and so on, what we do is rotate them. So you will have a team of persons and we split them in teams. So one team will work for 1 week, then that team is rested and the other team comes in. So while they're in, their load is actually increased. But so because the numbers of persons coming in, we are not seeing a significant reduction in the numbers of persons coming in, but we have less staff to deal with them. And we're very deliberate in that because we don't want a situation where we have our full staff complement, one person or two persons get sick, and then we have to fully close. So this is something that we will continue to do as we continue to navigate this new normal.
And of course, the TAJ is online, working to serve you even better.
The website is www.jamaicatax.gov.jm. That's our website, and we're very social. We are across most of the social media platforms, and we get queries and respond to those through our social media platform, as well as you can contact our customer care center, which is 888-829-4357, or we say 888-TAX-HELP, because that's what they'll do. They'll help you. So if you don't remember the numbers, just remember 888-TAX-HELP, and they're happy to assist you. And we are ready and able to assist you. If you need additional information, contact us through any one of those means, and we'll assist you. We'll even walk you through the process of doing the thing online.